Hello folks, this is just a spur of the moment thing. I decided to start a new channel. Oh look, we've still got the Christmas decorations up. And we're in at the end of March. I came across this sort of idea, or thought about doing this sort of idea, because I realised that a lot of us Brits or English speakers living in France have very different lives, and well, for those of you who don't know me, because you're new to this channel, and this is the first video after all, I've been living here now for 29 years, and it just seems like it zipped by, and 2 kids later here we are. So I thought that as I've got another channel which is more about transport type subjects and about my weird looking little van, my little French van, which you won't see so much of in this because it's the channel is not really about that. It's about me living here, and with its ups and downs, and sometimes a bit of loneliness thrown in, because I was reading online just now that people who move here, meaning English speakers like Americans, us Brits and so on, when we move to France, it can be quite a daunting prospect, not forgetting the language barrier. I mean, I came here aged 27, so practically 11 years since I took any exams at school, where I got what we call a CSE. I think it's all different now, but anyway, so back then, back in the 80s, I got a CSE grade 4, and grade 1 was the best, and grade 4 in French, nah, not very good. So it was quite difficult when I moved here. I had to basically start all over again and learn a new language. And obviously my wife, who is French, helped me quite a lot with that, and now we have 2 children that they help me too. Obviously I help them with their English, but it keeps me grounded. And as you're new to this channel, I teach English one-to-one, which I've been doing for the last 10 years, just at the suggestion of a Dutch friend who lives in our village, who said, why don't you try teaching? And so I worked with her and another teacher, doing a few courses. I lasted about 6 months or so, and then my contract sort of ended because I was giving phone sort of lessons and they decided not to do them anymore, which is fair enough because nobody liked them. The students didn't like them, I didn't like them, but it got me a grounding into teaching. So that's why I'm really at the moment. As we go on, you'll learn more and more about my life here in France and the various things to do with that. So before I'm going to change hands on my little selfie stick, wobble wobble. No good quality videos here. You go to the other channel for that. You'll see the link on the page of this channel. Say quality, meaning I make the effort to edit things, whereas here I'll probably do it all on my phone. It's all new, so we'll see how we get on. So up to now I've been doing sort of videos about every month of what's been going on. So I think for this first video, I think I'll sort of talk about what's been going on since since January, because I haven't done one since then. And previously that was on my other channel as a hidden sort of, you know, link only type video. So I thought, well, why not create this channel and put all those here? But I won't be putting all the old videos I got on the other channel onto here. I'll start afresh. So yeah, we're in well, nearly into April, and I think I'm going to find somewhere to sit down so I'm more comfortable. So I'll go and find a chair or something and wander over here. Anyway, so the last couple of months have been a bit samey, I suppose. I've had, so we'll talk about the French health service, shall we? Last November I had what's called a fibroscopy and the coloscopy. I won't go into too much detail about that because it's not very pleasant. But it was my first go. I'll find a chair here to sit down on next to the step ladder. Why not? As you can see, I actually cleaned the terrace. There we go. It looks lovely, doesn't it? Trouble is I've got another one at the back to do, and I've got some stairs sort of over there to do too. So that's a bit more comfortable. Yeah, so I had this intervention. It was a call in French, operation whatever, and it was the first time I had general anaesthetic, so that was interesting. So fast forward to this year, I had another operation, and this time I had 3 teeth removed. Well, 2 wisdom teeth and a tooth next to a wisdom tooth that were broken, because I had a wisdom tooth that was growing sort of horizontally, and it went bash into the next one and broke it. So I had what's called hospital. I can't even say it now. I'm going to speak French and I can't speak French. Hospitalisation ambulatoire. That's it. Hospitalisation ambulatoire, which means that you're a day patient basically. You have to do all the preparation before the operation. So you need to take your medications, or in the case of coloscopy, you have to eat a diet without seeds or residue. So basically beans and seedy bread and cereal type things, and in fact you're quite limited before you do that. So change of diet for I don't know, I think it was about a week or something before they did that, and this time for the teeth, after the intervention, before you have to take all your drugs and things, like for the other thing I had in November, you have to do certain things and wash yourself with antiseptic stuff and what have you before you go in, and then afterwards you have to eat a soft food diet, which is quite challenging because you're a bit limited in what you can actually eat. And I think I was doing that for probably a week, 10 days. So they're trying to push to have these things where you just go in for a few hours, literally, to have these things done. I mean, for the coloscopy, fibroscopy, we went in, what time was it? I don't know, it must have been about 9-10 o'clock in the morning or something. I can't remember actually. But I was only in for 2 or 3 hours at the most. And for the teeth, the stomatologue, which is called in French, I went into a clinic, and I think I spent more time actually asleep than the time it took them to take the teeth out. So I was under for probably two hours or so, or probably 3. I was late going in. It was the end of the day. I was probably the last person, I think, going in for an operation. And yeah, so they tend to do that a lot now. It's kind of strange because you got all the preparation to do at home, which means you don't have to bother spending loads and loads of time in hospital or in the clinic or whatever. And then the actual time they take to do the actual thing is quick. So I suppose it's a good thing. It's expensive. As far as the mutuelle is concerned, it's different for everyone. If you've got a job, you get a mutuelle, which is like health insurance. If you have been working and you've not got a mutuelle, you come under the SECU, which is the Social Security. In my case, we've got sort of family mutual, so that's quite useful because I've got the another underlying, if I can get it out, health issue, which I'll talk about another time. And so yeah, all that is fine. So basically that's been taking up quite a bit of time because I was on quite heavy painkilling type drugs. I actually had opium in it, and yeah, that knocked me out. I was a bit out of it. I wasn't trippy or off with the fairies or anything, but I was really tired all the time and actually really hungry, which I didn't expect. So yeah, all that went fairly well, I suppose, in the end, but it took a little while to recover. And now we're getting ready to go to the UK, so that's going to be sort of towards the end of this month. And strangely, I'm going to be away for practically a month, which is unusual for me. I don't spend as much time as that in the UK usually, and our trips are normally every year. Um, it gets expensive, believe it or not. Even you got the close proximity, even though you've got the close proximity of Britain to us, when it comes to travelling there, it's probably extra expensive as well because I travel separately on the train, and I'll talk about that another time as well, why I travel separately on the train. It will come out eventually over the course of the videos that I put on the channel. But that obviously bumps up the cost quite a bit. You've got food, fuel, blah, 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 blah. And now you've got what's called the ETA. I think it's European Travel Authorization or something like that, which we first had last year. So last year we had to pay for my wife and our two teenage children because they don't have British passports. Obviously, my wife is French; she hasn't got one. And our children, my son had a British passport when he was about, trying to think, he was about 3 months old when we first went to the UK with him, and we got him a passport then. And then that lasted, I think, 5 years, and after that we didn't renew it, and we never got one for our daughter. So they're French citizens basically, and which means they're European citizens. Which means that if you're a European citizen, you have to get one of these ETAs. And so last year it was £10, not €10, £10 each, and this year I've realised this actually lasts 2 years, but it's not very easy to look up to see the validity of the ETA. I think that's really a really bad thing because you actually apply for it's not a document, it's an electronic thing. You don't get any evidence of it really because it's applied for on an app, and you apply for it on the app and that's it. It's off into, I don't know, into the ether, so to speak. And the only people that know the validity are those probably checking your passport when you go through passport control, or when my wife and our kids go through. So I worked out by looking online, eventually found the right sort of UK government site or page that told me that it was valid until the beginning of April 2027. And as we usually travel towards the latter end of April to the UK, it means I'll have to renew it again. And they're talking about this being put up in price. So at the moment it's gone up to £15. So this year if I had to get one it would have been £15 each. And they're talking about putting it up to 20 eventually. So it's significant because you're talking about £60 just to get this document so that you can travel, or non-document electronic what's it. So yeah, we're sort of thinking, well, isn't this going to be cheaper in the long run to get UK passports for our two kids? I don't know whether the rules have changed for that. I mean, I'm British. I was born in England. It's just that I left when I was 27, and I spent a long time in France now. But I'm still British. I still have a British passport. So, in theory, I should be able to get documents for, passports for our children. So I think it's just a case of watch and see what happens. But I think that's going to be the next thing that we do, because I think working it out over a 10-year period, it's going to work out cost effective to get a passport rather than have to pay for an ETA every 2 years. Yeah, so I'm not very pleased about that, but then again, this is another thing from Brexit and all the other mess. While I'm talking about things that are a problem, one of my sidelines is selling stuff online. So I sell mainly transport related things on Vinted, it's Vinted, French eBay, Le Bon Coin, which is a French sort of Gumtree type site, and I'm now limited because some of the things I sell are actually English things, or English related things, or British related things, and I can't actually sell to Britain because it will be prohibitive even. I'm actually very cold. It's 10 degrees as you saw at the beginning, and I'm actually feeling it now. Yeah, so it's annoying because when it comes to postage, well, here in Europe, so for example, Vinted is European Vinted, including Southern Ireland, you can use relay points, collection points to send the items to, so they can be picked up, which obviously brings the cost of the postage down. But they're not linked to Britain at all. So if I needed to sell something to Britain, then I'd have to pay a stupid amount to actually send something over there. And I was actually looking at how much it would cost if I wanted to send something from a relay. I think it was Mondial Relay or Shop to Shop, which are the ones you have in France, to somebody in the UK, and it worked out something ridiculous like £22 or something. So if I sell something for less than that, if I sell something for £10, you've got to pay £22 postage. Who's going to do that? So an upshot of Brexit is that if you want to trade with Britain from here, it's really not going to work. And I've not really seen a way around it as of yet. Unless somebody knows better that they have a relay local to them in Britain, which works out cheaper if I send, say for example, they send me the docket, the label with the QR code or whatever on, which they buy over there and send it to me via email or something, and I'll stick it on the package and send the package to them that way. Whether that's going to work out any cheaper, I don't know. Anyway, enough of that. So I'll bring this video to an end now because I'm getting a bit cold and I've been out here for nearly 20 minutes. And I'm sure that 20 minutes of waffle is going to try the patience of everybody really. But this is just an introductory first video. I don't know whether I'll do a sort of channel, brand video to go on the front page or whatever. I think I'll try and keep things simple and just tell things how they are. But because I live, I didn't really say exactly where I'm living, but I'm not going to, but it's quite rural here. It's semi-rural because you're getting more and more of the Paris banlieue being built nearby, and as you can hear, there's some banging noises which you tend to hear during the day because somebody's doing something, like the bloke over the road is renovating what was a barn into a house, and we're due to have two houses built behind that hedge, very small houses, and there's been two houses the other side of that have been built, and so on and so forth. So it's semi-rural here, but the Paris banlieue is catching up on us, but it still means that it's relatively quiet. I mean, apart from the bloke banging across the road there, it is really, I suppose, idyllic for a lot of people. But then again, it can be a bit dead. I don't see many people during the day because my wife's at work, my son's at uni in Paris, and my daughter's still at lycée. Oh, it's nice. And you get that as well, nice birdies as well. So it's sort of, shut up. Very noisy bird. So it's sort of, you're a bit limited in what you can do here. We've got a Lidl around the corner. We've got a boulangerie as well, where people are a bit funny about, cause it's a collection point for these parcels that I sell. If you don't buy anything when you go and pick up or leave a parcel, they get a bit funny about it, which is a bit silly because why have a collection point? Obviously they want to get more people buying their pain au chocolat and baguettes and things, but sometimes I don't really need a baguette. They last a day, so it's a bit pointless if we've already got bread and you need to go and buy more. Anyway, so it's that sort of life. I tend to go for walks in parks, and I fiddle around with my van a little bit. and I fool around on the internet quite a lot to talk to other people. So it's that sort of lifestyle here in our village, but we do travel now and again, so hopefully the channel will be something that gives a true reflection of my life in France. And like I said in my intro, it's not Escape to the Chateau, it's not some sort of weird documentary saying, oh, it's better over the garden fence sort of thing in France. It's not always better. Sometimes it's better, but it's not always better. So I just say it how it is. Anyway, with that, I'm going to leave you, and thank you so much for watching this video if you got to the end on this brand new channel, and hopefully I'll be able to do a few more videos like this, just about everyday stuff, and see how you compare it to life where you are. So feel free to leave a comment, hit the like, subscribe if you want to, it's up to you. I'd be delighted to be able to talk to you. I'll speak to you again soon. Take care of yourselves all. Bye.